Greetings everyone, this is Mr. Rohde coming to you from my classroom on March 24th, 2017, teaching you how to make a really cool project where you're going to analyze data from the Youth at Risk report from the Center of Disease Control. I'm going to walk you through the entire process of building this, and then you're welcome to review this video and watch it over and over. Don't forget to subscribe and like to my channel. Here we go. You'll find all the information you need in Google Classroom. So tucked inside of Google Classroom, you'll have two things that will come in really handy. The first thing that will come in really handy is the project template. The project template. And the next thing that will come in handy is the raw data, data from the Youth at Risk report. Now on these slides, what you're going to do is your group is going to select one topic that the whole group is going to do. So you're going to pick one of the data rows that everyone in your group is going to study. For example, you all might study video games, which is the one I'm going to pick. So you all might say, hey, we're all going to do video games. But then what you're going to do is, as a group, each of you in the group is going to pick something different to compare to video games. So you might say, is video games related to how much milk people drink? Is video games correlated to how much soda people drink? And your other partner might say, is video games related to how much salad you eat? And each of you is going to do a report on one of those three things as they relate to video games. You'll have a common theme, for example, video games, and then you'll have a different theme comparing video games to one of those other items. Let me show you how I would suggest you do that. The first thing I suggest you do is you eliminate all of the data except the data that you're going to be studying. Now, I'm going to make a copy of it just so I don't lose it, but you can use your copy of this data as well. And then I'm going to delete all the data that isn't related to my project. I now can compare drinking milk with video games. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to build a table. And that table is I'm going to start with video games, and I'm going to line them up one way, and I'm going to line the drinking milk another way. So first I'm going to do video games, and I'm going to copy and paste the exact text so that I can use it later. So no playing video games is the first category. Less than an hour is going to be my next category. And what I'm doing is I'm building a table with those categories. Oops, that's that's good. And then 2 hours. Oh, the fun part. I'm going to build an equation for each of these cells in my table so I can find out what the total number is for each. And because I copied and pasted the category, I can build a really cool table. Watch how I do that. Again, the way I did that is, and now I'll go to this one, is I go equals, and then I'm going to use a count ifs. And I'm going to count if with my open parenthesis. I'm first going to select the criterion range, and I'm going to start with I'll start with, doesn't matter, I'm going to start with milk, for example. Now, the milk category I want is 1 glass per day. So I'm going to click on that cell that has 1 glass per day. I'm going to hit a comma for the next category, which is going to be video game playing. And the video game category I'm looking for is no playing video games. Then I either close parentheses or just hit enter, and it will give me the total. So, people who play no video games and also do not drink milk is 765. People who play no video games and drink 1 glass of milk is 353. Now I'll finish up the table. Okay, when you have that chart done, then the next step is going to be to fancy it up a little bit. I'm going to make these categories a little bigger so they're a little easier to see. I'm also going to add some formatting. And then I can do a screen capture by going Control-Shift-Eject, which is my favorite way of getting a table screen capture. You could go like this. You could also just copy and paste the data. So then here's my table. And then the next thing it asks me to do is make a graph. So then I'm going to do that same thing we did the other day with Insert, Chart. And it's really important that when you look at the chart that you make sure it captures all the data. Look at this chart. Does it capture all the data or just one axis of the data? It's just one axis. I don't think it's getting everything as well as like this one is capturing all the axes. This one's not. This one is. So you want to look at a chart that best explains your data. And feel free to pick that perfect chart or a chart that you think best defines your data. And I'm just going to take that, and then you can copy that. I'm going to go Command C. I'm going to put it in my slide here by pasting it down. I'm going to link it, but either way will work. If you don't link it, it will just take a picture of it. But by linking it, I can change things a little easier. And then here I write a hypothesis down about my data. That's how you complete this big data project.